Look at that morning. Look at the dew on the grass, the light through the trees, and listen to that bird song. Not bad. I just woke up in my hometown for the first time in 45 years. I left here in 4th grade, and I have not really been back since. And the van is over there. You can just barely see it. It was 45 degrees this morning, which is perfect sleeping weather in the van, which means there's a fight on the horizon because I will literally have to pry my wife out of that bed because we sleep like, the van is like a tomb. It's unbelievable how well we sleep in there. But I've been doing a lot of writing. We got here last night. I have one day to make a film about hometown America, about what it's like to be from somewhere, which applies to all of us. We're all from somewhere. I happen to be from Kendallville, Indiana, and writing a lot about hometown and talking to every stranger I can find about what it's like to live in Kendallville. Meeting up with a friend of my brother's later who's been here his whole life. His mom and my mom used to hang out all the time. His dad was a gunsmith and my dad was a competitive shooter. I found out yesterday that they were buddies, and I was little. I was the youngest one. Sister was older, brother was older, and my mom would go over to his mom's house and spend hours having coffee and talking, and I would be stuck in the car losing my mind. And he had an older brother that would take my older brother motorcycle riding. This is where I learned to ride a motorcycle. This is where I learned to ride a horse. This is where I learned to play tetherball. There were a lot of firsts here, but I left in 4th grade. And as I mentioned before, I haven't been back since, but it's remarkably beautiful town. And I don't remember a lot about it. There are little fragments of memories of this place, little triggers. Could be the piece of a house, could be an old car, could be an intersection where I knew something belonged there in the past that was no longer there. The A&W is now a Pizza Hut. The Dairy Queen's still here, might be the most popular restaurant in town, but it's in a different location. I'm gonna go visit my elementary school. I'm gonna visit my brother's high school. I wrote to the mayor, but the mayor ghosted me, damn it. But hometowns are interesting. When you leave a hometown, it feels more about looking forward than looking back. And there were clues in our family about where we were headed. Things like a red 911, a flight on the Concorde, international hunting and fishing trips. We knew, even as a kid, I knew that we were not going to be here forever. But what I didn't realize then, and I know to be true now, is that just because it's a small town and just because we left, it doesn't mean that this town is not as worldly or as big, really, in some ways, as any other town on the planet. And people here were just as worldly as they are anywhere else. But also there's the embrace of familiarity of a hometown. And especially the familiarity of a hometown that is small proportionally, where you can know every house, every family, every business, every success, every failure, every transition, every death, all of that stuff, that familiarity that we sometimes make fun of when it comes to people from small towns who don't leave. And to me, it's the exact opposite is true. To stay at a place like this, in my mind, is a really commendable thing because you do have the intimacy of familiarity of the small town. So I'm going to be out exploring all day today in typical rapid fire fashion. I'm shooting anything that's moving because I don't have time to do anything else. Later. What have we learned so far? We learned that my wife can't pick up after herself in the van. If you saw what is down on the floorboard here, it would probably make a billy goat puke. That's my wife. It's never going to change. After 27 years, I realize now there's no hope. So I went to the Chamber of Commerce. I bought 4 postcards. The postcards were photographed by the guy who's been family friend leading me around town on his motorcycle, who you'll see in some of these videos. He's also a part-time amateur photographer, but he's actually a really good photographer. And I go in to buy the postcards at the Chamber of Commerce, having a problem with that word. Don't know that he's the photographer who made the pictures. That's kind of funny. Track down the woman who owns my childhood home, which is where I'm headed to right now to make some photographs and also shoot some video of the actual house, because I stopped by briefly earlier and it's just gorgeous out there. It's all a quarter of the size I remember it, but it's out there. It has been a blitzkrieg day in Kendallville, racing around trying to photograph and film as much as I can. The light is absolutely horrendous. There's not a cloud in the sky, so the light sucks, which is a bummer, and there's gonna be no cloud cover for the rest of the day, so I'm a bit limited on what I'm gonna be able to come up with, but here we are.